At 23:45 Tehran time on March 13th, 2026, the U.S. stealth destroyer USS Zumwalt, DDG-1000, was making 11 knots through the central Persian Gulf, 31 nautical miles off the Iranian coast and 27 nautical miles from the nearest Omani island. The most expensive and quietest surface warship in the U.S. Navy, 15,656 tons full displacement, priced at $8 billion. 182 meters long, 24.6 meters wide, a hull with slope facets and composite elements, an alleged RCS of 0.0008 square meters. On board, 8 Mk-57 universal launch cells loaded with SM-6 and Tomahawk, two 155mm AGS guns, an active denial system, and /spy, 3 radar and LPI mode, and the newest in /SQS 53D sonar suite with a 260-meter TB, 23-towed array. Crew, only 147, thanks to automation after the chain of incidents over the last 72 hours. The strike on Carney, the drone near Ford, fast boats shadowing 2 destroyers, and the Chinese submarine the night before. 5th Fleet Command sent Zumwalt on a night demonstration passage to prove a single point. Even in the most dangerous waters on Earth, an American stealth ship remains in control. Captain Elizabeth Harper, 06, stood on the bridge in total darkness, only red instrument lighting, and spoke calmly into her headset. Sensors are clean. No subsurface contacts. This sector is under our control. Maintain course. ROE level 2. Fire only on a clear threat. In the CIC on the 03 deck level, operators were finishing their 3rd coffee of 3rd watch. Sonar Watch Officer Lieutenant Michael Torres reported every 5 minutes. Ambient noise normal. Civil shipping and fishing trawlers within expected levels. No Chinese or Iranian submarines observed. The SBY, 3 remain passive, and in /SLQ, 32V, 7 electronic warfare suppressed potential signals. The night was perfectly dark. The moon hidden behind clouds. The sea a black mirror. Only faint reflections from the ship's navigation lights and occasional lighthouse flashes on the horizon. The Americans were confident the Gulf was under control. No one will risk coming close at night, Harper thought. No one suspected that 9 minutes later, that certainty would collapse. On the Iranian side, at the IRGC Undersea Operations Control Center in Bandar Abbas, Major General Ali Jafari personally issued the order at 23:36. Operation Shadow 13. Goddard-class mini-submarine, hull number 907. Mission: close to the American Zumwalt to the minimum safe distance. Do not attack. Record acoustic data, log maneuvering. Show the Pentagon. Even their stealth ship can be touched from below at night. Let them feel what it's like when an unknown object is already alongside and they realize it too late. The Iranian ultra-small Goddard submarine, about 120 tons displacement, 29 meters long, submerged speed up to 12 knots, 2 533mm torpedo tubes, crew of 7, had been in the Gulf since March 11th. It transited under cover of a civilian fishing trawler, then lay on the bottom near Larak Island for 36 hours, and only tonight slipped into the central sector. With low-noise coatings reducing signature to 78 dB, new generation electric motors, and a 5-blade propulsor, it was among the quietest IRGC mini-subs. Commander Captain 3rd Rank Mohammad Rezai and Sonar Officer Senior Lieutenant Cameron Farhadi knew the mission wasn't an attack. It was a demonstration. We need to get inside 140 to 180 meters and slip away. Let the Americans spend the next week trying to understand how we got there. At 23:47, Zumwalt's and /SQS, 53D picked up the first strange contact. Lieutenant Torres snapped upright. Subsurface contact. Bearing 183. Speed 4 knots. Range 1.8 miles. Very faint. At first I thought it was debris, a drifting container fragment, or a false return from the thermal layer. But the tonality's wrong. Too steady. Too quiet to be natural noise. The CIC went silent. Harper stepped to the display. Classify immediately. TB, 23 towed array to maximum. That isn't debris. Run spectrum. 38 seconds later, confirmation came from two systems at once. The towed array held a stable low-frequency line at 47 Hz. And /SQQ, 89 processing matched it. Electric motor and propulsor signatures consistent with an Iranian Ghadar-class mini-sub. Torres went pale. That's a Ghadar. A mini-sub. Speed 4 knots. Depth 35 meters. Range now 1.4 miles. How is it even here? We've been controlling this Gulf for 3 days. What began as a contact became escalation in seconds. 23:48. The contact was already at 980 meters. The submarine was running perfectly parallel to Zumwalt's course, mirroring every maneuver. Zumwalt's sonar began losing the track. The Iranian boat exploited a cold current near the island and hid in a thermocline shadow zone around 28 meters. Harper ordered, "Condition Zebra. All sonar stations, maximum. Sweep lights on the water. Launch Romeo 1 immediately. Security boats, over the side. Weapons hold. ROE level 2. We do not give them a pretext to claim we fired first on an unknown object." Powerful 5-kilowatt searchlights flared on across the upper deck. Beams cut into black water, lighting a 300-meter ring around the ship. Sailors in life vests sprinted to the rails. MH-60R Romeo, one spun up in 47 seconds and lifted. 90 seconds later, the pilot reported, "Romeo 1 airborne. First sonobuoys deployed. Confirm. Iranian mini-sub. Propulsor signature matches. It's inside 620 meters and still closing. Periscope visible in IR." In the CIC, tension spiked. Torpedo Control Officer Lieutenant Sarah Miller kept a finger poised over the MK-54 release. "Target inside engagement range. If it comes inside 400 meters, I'm ready." Harper answer hard. "Hold fire. Nighttime, civilians in the area. One shot, and tomorrow the world sees the U.S. attacking an unknown object without a clear threat. We need to understand how it got this close." 23:50. Range 410 meters. The submarine rose to 18 meters and continued closing slowly. The helicopter dropped another 8 sonobuoys, but the mini-sub slipped out of each buoy field in seconds. 2 RHIB security boats were already in the water, running 35 knots, sweeping with searchlights and dropping simulated grenades to provoke a reaction. On Zumwalt, Harper stepped to the bridge wing and shouted through a bullhorn, though she knew it was pointless. "Unknown subsurface contact. Surface immediately and identify." No reply, only a faint vibration through the hull. In Bandar Abbas, General Jafari watched the feed from Ghadar and spoke calmly. "They detected us only at 1.8 miles. We rode the thermocline for 7 hours. Let them sweat. Close to 160 meters. 23:52. Contact at 290 meters. Zumwalt sonar now heard it in the ear. Each propulsor rotation, each click of the electric drive. The submarine's pressure wave lightly rocked the 15,000-ton hull. Sailors on the lower deck felt a faint tremor. In the CIC, a young lieutenant whispered, "Ma'am, it's right under the side. How did we let it through?" 23 hours, 53 minutes, and 40 seconds. Peak moment. The Iranian Ghadar mini-sub closed to a dangerously short distance, only 165 meters, off Zumwalt's starboard side, at 12 meters depth. The sonar picture was so sharp the operators felt they could count revolutions. Security boat searchlights caught a faint periscope silhouette breaking the surface for a second. Romeo 1 hovered directly over the contact and dropped illumination markers. The flashes lit the black water, and everyone saw it. A small dark hull, riding just beneath the chop, almost touching the bow wave of Zumwalt. In the CIC, silence became total. Harper looked white as chalk. 165 meters, an unknown underwater object right alongside. We detected it too late. The question isn't what do we do? It's how did it get here and why did we miss it? Then a short acoustic signal came from the Iranian submarine. 3 clicks, the international "I am here" gesture. Not a threat, a demonstration. The periscope camera captured everything. Zumwalt's hull, antennas, the U.S. flag, the sweeping searchlights, The helicopter overhead. In Bandar Abbas, Jafari said quietly, "Objective complete. Breakaway. Let the Americans remember this night." 23:55. Goddard turned slowly southwest. Speed dropped to 3 knots. Depth increased to 45 meters. It withdrew as quietly as it arrived, dissolving into background noise in 3 minutes 40 seconds. Zumwalt sonar lost a track at 4.2 miles. Tension in the CIC didn't fade immediately. People stood at the screens for a long time. Security ribs swept the water for another 18 minutes. Romeo 1 kept circling until the signal was completely gone. Harper wrote quietly in the report, "Today we did not fire. Today we realized an unknown underwater object, an Iranian Goddard-class mini-sub, close to 165 meters of our stealth ship in the Persian Gulf at night. We detected it too late. It was where it had no right to be." In Bandar Abbas, General Jafari summarized Operation Shadow 13. 1 pass. 1 mini-sub. We proved that even the quietest, most expensive American stealth ship can be touched from below. $8 billion. And we came to 165 meters. The entire incident lasted 18 minutes 27 seconds. Iran lost nothing. The United States lost another night of sleep and took another heavy blow to the myth of total control in the Persian Gulf. The narrator closes the video with a low, calm, ironic voice over the soft hum of underwater propulsors and tense orchestral music fading out. Today, the Americans learned that in the Persian Gulf, even the most modern stealth ship costing $8 billion can be approached underwater so closely that the vibration carries into the hull. An Iranian Goddard mini-sub passed every barrier, every sonar, every control zone. It came to 165 meters, clicked 3 times, filmed every meter of the hull, and went home to drink tea. And 147 people on Zumwalt stood there asking one question: how did it get here, and why did we notice it so late? We simply reminded you, your billions spent on stealth above water mean nothing against a quiet underwater threat right alongside. This is our sea, and we see you first, even when you think you control everything.